stakes coming into this, with the prize pool increasing with every single win in the Swiss. There is a lot at stake here as we head into game one on Manfield Night as ever, as a dangerous shot already early on from Ascence.
Simon diving underneath, and those tiny mistakes, that's what is the difference maker between a bubble level team and an absolute top tier team, is just the consistency that you're able to perform with. And we already saw a very intricate start with a double tap being attempted and a rapid one as well, and a few misses here and there, and Ascence are struggling a little bit in that encounter. Still 0-0.
One thing I am surprised or maybe unsure about is, of course, LED on the side of Ascence. They qualified with Shin on their roster alongside Media and Sarge. I mean, I'm not sure if this is just a new alias for him today or a new player. The name does ring a bell. I imagine this may be a substitute, and already they're down 1-0. Squixel finding Hazer in the midfield.
Beautiful pass, just cranking up the pressure there on the side of Ascence. And a great goal explosion on the top of it. The graffiti being popped off, and the Souls, they've had an insane start. And I feel like they're a team that, as soon as you bet against them, they're going to be a lot better because they like playing underdog. And Ascence, they've not got that comfortability now. They don't have that luxury as they're getting pressurized again here in their defensive end.
I think more in terms of betting against a team than not putting them on the stream because you thought they were going to lose. Lost Souls here to prove us right this time, putting them here on the main broadcast in the lower round of the Swiss here in round 3. Reminder, if you're just joining us here, both these two teams 0 and 2. They have to win or else they're going home.
Pivotal and Arrow, he wants to facilitate that for his team, but apart from the very get-go, Lost Souls, they've had the reins in hand here. They've been in the driver's seat. Now a pass going into the center, going awry. Squixel's able to captivate it from behind again. Hazo also jumps up. Simon with a good interception. Squixel, tough read. Mero is there to amend his mistake, and they should be able to break away here as well.
So play from Arrow. Buying some valuable time for Lost Souls, who will punt it downfield through Squixel. Arrow unable to make the reverse angle read there. LED in the midfield, unable to connect with a pass though. Hazo, he's up with 2 touches, uncontested. The Swedes backing off here in the pink. Comfortable for now. They've still got plenty of time on the clock, but there is a little bit of a lack of urgency, I'm feeling.
Well, that's an open net, open shooting at least for Hazo. Mita was able to clear up that net,
shot.
and oh my goodness, Arrow from the angle gets it in.
A pre-flip extraordinaire right here. The demo leaving the goal a little bit open, and back post is where he plucks it. It's 2-0 to the Lost Souls.
Ascence just struggling in that defensive end, and at this point, the question about whether Shin is led, I think not, because they are not really cohesive. Simon off the top, only barely good for a touch, and that's been the entire game, right, where Lost Souls, they've been rather comfortable the entire way through, as Ascence just scraping by on certain occasions, and perhaps here again, as it's punted up high, lead is equal to it.
Lays it down towards Meaty as the Swedes looking for a punch back, yet to score inside 3 minutes. Lead's up. His shot denied from close range. 2 on the wall for Lost Souls. A bit of an overload. It works out for them. Arrow, unexpected, I think, for the ball to come back towards him. He tried to improvise. Didn't really work. Sarge Moon will catch the ball here on the right-hand side. Gets the flip reset with that Batmobile. It's off the backboard. The shot is there, and it finds the back of the net.
That cuts the lead in half instantly. Great from Lead to be all over that. Having faith and confidence in Simon to get it over. Already in the 16s, Arrow got close to it, and he's been fishing the ball out of the net rather often. But in this occasion, he has to accept defeat. Try and get back on his feet here already. The kickoff, scary, but Hazel was able to clear it out to the side. It's a bit of a hefty touch, and he has to try and chase it down again. As Ascence, they've been able to stamp their flag on the ball.
And they continue to do so. And get aggressive in the blue. Sarge Moon, crucial challenge in the midfield, gets the shot on net. Touchdown, but he can't keep the follow-up. A lovely bit of link-up play, maybe overplaying their hand. A big chance for Ascence, as down at the other end, Squixel trying to run it to the bottom corner, but he just can't generate the pace.
0 boost, but Hazo, he certainly got the pace behind that ball. Simon with a quick challenge. Squixel uses a very interesting recovery mechanic there. Gets the flip reset and then musties onto the wall. It looks impressive. Squixel now also failing the chain dashes on the wall. Arrow has to cut in between. Simon having no boost will mark him as no threat There's nobody challenging this. Where is the challenge? Quixel in the end does go in.
The midfield defense was loading, it was buffering, but eventually it was there. Ascence unable to make anything of the absence. Quixel will take possession unchallenged. I don't think he's got much boost. Delicately falls under the ball, flops into it, and it goes literally nowhere. Now into the midfield. Aero will boom it downfield. Meaty off the backboard. It's sent back. A bit of ping pong, but I have to say this far more favours Lost Souls Hyperia, who are very happy to run down the clock right now.
My goodness, Lost Souls barely holding on the defense, but that's going to go on target. They need to actually go back. Simon is able to fish it out and actually pass it on to Meaty here. Led is Hazo, 15 to the center. Quixel stands his ground. The recovery a bit troublesome, but where's the rest of Ascence? It looks like they've got no haste behind this whatsoever. They've only got 15 seconds left.
Led has to try and make a play happen. No control on the second. Meaty expecting the 50 to come through. He's caught up with the ball there. Hot potato, unfortunately, not working out for him. The 50 will be low, and it will roll to a stalemate. The Lost Souls coming out on top. It's 2-1 in game one, and the first on the board for them.
But it was very flip-flop type of match where Lost Souls in the start had no control. They gained it, got 2 goals, and then Ascence started to build their attack consistently. But just look at the shots, 13 shots and only 2 goals out of it. Lost Souls could be marking their victory so much more aggressively.
Yeah, I mean, I was just the 6 shots you're saying out of Hazo there, who was at the top of the scoreboard. He was collecting them like trading cards, but crucially, in terms of confidence, we talked about the mental side of this series. Lost Souls getting on the board first, of course, with this game, but during it, putting not just the first goal on the board, but the second as well. It was always going to be an uphill battle, but credit to Ascence pulling themselves somewhat back into it.
But it's only somewhat. They've still lost the game, and now they're going to need to fight it back. It's only the initial one, and they did start to muster up some confidence during the latter part of that game. They will be able to swing that back into game number 2 and kind of continue about their merry way. So at least they've got that going for them. But apart from that, it seems like they're not necessarily playing as much as a team as Lost Souls are.
No, and you can see the little bit of team play they had at the end in that beautiful passing play behind me, as you can see. It was nice, and of course Led stepping in, as we assume, as a substitute. They're going to have to build up that chemistry. I don't even know who they were playing with in their previous series, so I have to get info on that. However, what we do know for sure, resolutely, it was the first game going in favour of Lost Souls. The all-Swedish side of Ascence have to try and bounce back, and early on, have to credit that. Look at that pass! What is that?
Oh my goodness, this is a Turbo Pulsar type pass. Channeling their inner Swedes. That was ridiculous. That was wild, and it doesn't make sense. But Hazo is somehow prepared for it, and Lost Souls, they get the punch on the chin of Ascence already.
How do you prepare for that for Ascence? That is such a rare, uncommon touch or play. Call it what you want. The underneath, the scoop that he got, intentional or not, the height just floated over the Ascence back line. A nice little fake from Sarge movement. Unfortunately for him, 2 players going, and he gets shut down. No luck for the lads in pink thus far.
Oh, great pass back by Squixel. I like the idea of it and the work around of it. Unfortunately, didn't really work, as this is a free opportunity, you'd think. But Meaty is quick, as he's the one who didn't commit on the side of Ascence, and now also wreaking havoc on the backboard. Hazo brings it out to the side. Led whiffs it just a tad, and Simon clear it out, pass off to the mid, but Squixel's able to intercept, and now perhaps an open net, doesn't have any boost to turn it in. Oh my goodness! Woo. Close.
To worry about whether he's running aimbot or something. I don't even know if that's possible. Squixel with the pinch from the corner would have been a highlight reel play for sure. Speaking of a goal, we will have it. Meaty denied by the crossbar, but Led with the follow-up on angle.
I'm not too sure what Squixel was thinking here. He could have challenged earlier, and I thought, okay, maybe he didn't have any boost, but he also had boost at the very start of the play. A slight mispositioning on the side of Lost Souls will cost them a goal in Ascence. They will try and choke out Lost Souls here as well. Simon is able to set up the attack. The initial touch goes a bit to the right. He's able to amend it with a flip reset. And now just a shot for Lost Souls on the clear away. They're perhaps a bit too cold.
Getting the assist for that crucial equalising goal, of course, showing up in the box when it mattered. Meaty causing a flurry on the defense, I believe, the oldest player in the tournament. Older than me or you, Hyperia. Meaty, of course, 24 years of age. If I'm not mistaken, he gets another shot on the board here as well. Still rolling back the years, but can he get himself a series win tournament is the question, because of course, yet to find one are either of these two teams.
I mean, we've been talking about Nordic Rangers, and now that you mention age, one of the oldest players that was not a goal that I was expecting to happen, but I guess it did. Meaty with a great pass inside.
Quote of the century. I mean, really, two going, and you really think they would have been able to stop it. I don't think a goal was going to happen either. I guess it did too. Ascence 2-1 the advantage. Shazmoon providing that one. I thought maybe that in passing it, Media tried to interfere with the defense, but no, I think it was maybe just a miscommunication. All three of them, and what a pass this is, nearly finding a third. All three of the Lost Souls players finding themselves on the same side of the defense, and it was always going to be easy to play it across them like that when their formation was so narrow.
Let it really start to activate now. His mechanics are incredibly quick, but this might be a bit too lackadaisical here. Led also struggles to clear it away. Leaves the boost for his teammate. Still has got plenty in the tank himself. Flip reset, boot. But Arrow there to shut him down before he's able to utilize that. Simon with a straight up shot. Meaty tried to get the bump, but instead got the block, and that's a free clear away for Lost Souls. There won't be a follow-up here, however, and Ascence, they'll be able to hit the counter-attack kick-started again. Or not, as Squixel has an easy angle. Never mind, it's Arrow, it just went in.
The Ascence lead proves even thinner than it looks. Arrow is going to get the credit for this. Straight off the corner, goal completely unattended, and we're all tied up at 2-2 in game 2. A little over 2 minutes on the clock, but sadly not the blessed 2 minutes 22 seconds. I wish. It does happen a lot of the time, but not today, as we see that Gross Noobs are the first team to qualify for the playoffs tomorrow into the quarterfinals with a 3-0 sweep over Sui.
It's those darn Frenchies again, man. They run every single tournament that they're in, but currently it's Led who wants to run this show. Hazo on the clear away. Now Simon quick on the challenge, back into the center. Led is there, and he'll lighten up. Attack just a little bit and see whether he can find some dark spots in the Lost Soul defense. Another result coming through here as well. Meanwhile, there's chaos in the defense abound. Led taps it over the top, but Arrow only barely able to get a touch, and Azo also barely able to, and the defense for Lost Souls works out.
Counter-attack looking dangerous for Lost Souls. Hazo's touch, though, he limited on boost, wasn't able to follow it up. Of course, the LEGO Builders against Scorpions matchup, you see that was 2 1-1 teams. LEGO Builders now 2-1 in the Swiss. They will be one series away going into round 4, but here, right in the moment in round 3, off the backboard it goes again for Ascence. A couple of their shots, I have to say, Iberia, coming off the woodwork more often than they'd probably have wished.
Lost Souls also threatening the counter-attack again. But that woodwork has been the best defender for Ascence just yet. The rest have been incredibly chaotic. A few more boosts in the tank of Squixel, and Hazo probably was looking for a touch there. Now it gets awkward for Arrow to clear it out. Bates in Simon, and that's basically all that he could have done. The pass infield. Squixel is able to extend it as well, but then he'll pay for it with his life. And Led is still there for the save. Led now also onto the counter-attack. Leaves it for Meaty, and Led goes for the bump. But Squixel's able to evade both and also get the clear.
Yeah, I think Led realizing that the shot wasn't actually quite on target. It was another one bound for the crossbar as we head into the final 30. Meaty looks like he has the flip reset, will find the pass, but Led unable to get the angle. Does play it patiently underneath and around, but won't find the second touch to force it to the midfield. Maybe Meaty can do that, but no one will be on the end of it. Sajmoon out here for the loose ball that bounces out. He's allowed to take the shot. Squixel giving him space, maybe a little bit too much respect, but it works out perfectly. Gets the boost, gets the ball, but the wall dash is not enough for the recovery. LED, Led picks it up. Sajmoon there, but his shot is off target here, late in regulation, and with the block being away, will it be overtime, or will there be late drama?
This is scary. It's still into the center, and actually Sajmoon capped it up. That should be the end. Indeed it is. We've gone overtime. And 2-2 is the scoreline. Lost Souls, if they can manage to get this victory. Their defense has been chaotic, but the counter punches into the offense have been close to lethal, at least wreaking havoc on the Ascence side, and they're trying to do exactly that. Crank up the pressure from the very start and get that pot boiling.
Critical overtime here as that looks on target from Meaty. It's going to be an equalizer. It does not matter how pretty it is. It works fantastic here from the midfield. The demo opening it up, and we're all tied up.
All right, there's Squixel going for the ball quickly, trying to up the pace of play. In the end, it ended up to be a mistake, and the defense was cleared away by Demo. Great play out of Ascence, and heads up as well, in order to realize that the last man would be caught off guard by such a Demo, and it's all tied back up. But look at Squixel, 5 saves out of him. That's insane.
That's a fantastic performance, but it wasn't enough for Lost Souls, and instead the credit goes to Ascence. A fantastic team performance with all the wonder and brilliance of any Cooler Master product, I think it's fair to say, as we look at the highlights. Again, the crossbar got more than its fair share of bonks, but it did not matter. Ascence still finding the goal in a brutal overtime that Lost Souls are going to have to take on the chin.
Yep, it's unfortunate you got that game number 1, but now you need to turn it around again. As Ascence, now that they have the engines rolling, especially LED, he's really stepped it up. He's starting to be incredibly mechanical, and at the same time catching Lost Souls off guard purely by his individualistic style and his individualistic powers as well. Lost Souls need to do something about him.
Oh, they certainly do. Getting far too much time on the ball in the Lost Souls half as well. The play seemed a lot more distant and open in game 1 when we saw countless clears, full distance off the backboard, but when it comes down to close quarters, it seems like the Swedes had a little bit of an advantage and caught too many times backwards and on the back foot. The Lost Souls were on their defense.
And Lost Souls, their defense was chaotic all throughout, struggling to clear it away, and they need to get themselves calmed down. That chaos won't be able to be sustained for longer, as Ascence are only going to smell blood in the water more and more, and Lost Souls one way to get that defense running is just to have a good attack, and also the post or the bar coming in clutch for Ascence in the very start of the round.
I'm just thinking back to last game, Hyperia, in terms of the bizarre scoop that gave Lost Souls an early lead in that second game, and how far distant and back in the past that one feels, to think that they didn't even go on to win that game 2, of course. Sad not to get another early advantage here on DFH. It's not to be. Led clears from the backboard. Rolls it down. Hazo will intercept, but he's once again completely being a spanner in the works, and Hazo will have to pick it up and air dribble again.
Arrow back into the center. Squixel's up for it. Squixel has been quick and also lethal on the double taps. Led gets credited with a save. Not too sure how that one worked out, but it's at least into the opposite end now. Squixel wants to leave this for his teammate. Arrow bites in the end. It's a 50. That's gone well from E.T., but now the pinch going down the other end is going to put the pressure on Ascence here again. Squixel wants his teammate to go, but now they need to go back on the defense, as Led is the one to lead the charge.
Big missed opportunity, I feel, for Lost Souls. With contact, 2 of them were in the area. Ascence barely getting back in time with the net temporarily open, but it was not to be. Maybe this time for Hazo, but he can't keep the shot down. It rattles off the backboard as Led clears away to the midline again. Demo comes through on Squixel. Meaty plays the man over the ball, and it works out as the flip reset, buying time for his respawn. Can they come forward? Yes, Saj Moon with the win in the midfield, but Aero nicely realizing he can take this ball past 1. Can he take it past 2? Tries to with the fake. Once again, finds himself going backwards.
It's a completely opposite game, and Squixel, you will find the opening. Okay, never mind. We went from chaos and turmoil to a nicely 50 goal here for Lost Souls.
Yeah, simple double commit from Ascence. They got away with 1 open net given up, but they will not get away with 2. Lost Souls once again striking first, as in every game thus far this series, I believe. Ascence will try to go back to the drawing board one more time. Boost off the kickoff 1 by Saj Moon, but can they actually build some pressure off of this?
Well, this is a good bump by Squixel. Saj Moon doesn't have any boost to relocate the ball into a more favorable spot, as Ascence can't push their chips to the center just yet, because they've got still got plenty of time left over. They need to hurry. Zero tries to pre-jump. My goodness, Ascence still struggling in that chaos that they're right now creating for themselves.
Yeah, a little bit of a shambles in the midfield. A bump into the set, and it ends up not mattering. I thought that was actually going to keep it up with being bumped into a pinch off of his own post. Led nearly thought it was his lucky day, but it turns out to be quite the opposite. Ends up pinching all the way to Hazo for a tap in 6 yards out.
At least Hazo got demoed after the fact, so you got some sort of vengeance, but you still conceded the goal. But on Ascence, they need to tone it down right now. Dial it back a tad and go a little bit less intricate, I feel like, because they're falling over each other, tripping over each other's foots, and tripping over their own foots as well. That can't be happening. You need to be ironed out here. Meaty tries to go for a musty, but Squixel, of course, who else would be in the way?
Find the follow-through flick this time does Hazo. But Aero is controlling that midfield very well, nice and centrally. Won't have enough boost to get to a second touch though. Led an easy challenge, but he's limited on resources. Tries to get the nice little landing wave dash. Nice to see it attempted, but not nice to see another open net. Is it on target? I can't quite tell. The rebound,
Oh, no.
Squixel's going to whiff on it. A huge chance to make it 3 to the good for the Lost Souls. But it was not to be, and how much will he look back and regret that one? We'll have to find out. Hyperia looks like, I'm sure you've been there and missed a shot like that, no? Okay, no, never mind. I forget it.
Don't miss. Oh, well, Led also doesn't miss, and this is where it could get costly. Instead of Lost Souls getting the goal and resetting back to kickoff, it's gone the opposite end. Hazo struggling on the clear weight, also not having too many avenues to that he could explore, and the rest was already demoed. Yeah, ice and cold water to the burnt area. That one is gonna sting for Lost Souls. A 2-goal swing in a short passage of play. And unfortunately, just 1 to the good they are anymore. Hazo unable, I should say, to re-extend it. Led is on the ball, but I think once again, keeps finding himself on it with less boost than he liked this game. Squixel able to take control and gets a flick past one. They will be 2 back to the good. Squixel making amends. It's 3-1. And I can understand this out of Simoon as well, because Led, he landed underneath Squixel. Squixel was unaffected by it, shakes it off, shrugs his shoulders, and just continues about the play.
It's impressive as well. I don't know if we have a technical word, but you see that a lot of the time in games. I would call it like the reverse Goomba. I'm not sure how else you would call it, to be honest. Well, because whenever your wheels touch the roof of the other car, they tend to skid out of control, and you lose the passage of play that you were so closely following. Of course, not in this case for Lost Souls. Easy recovery. Squixel able to make it happen, no problem. Aero this time into the corner. The Lost Souls will be happy to deliver one player to the attack at a time. Ascence are the ones who are going to have to make something happen.
But especially now with an open net for Hazo. He's able to get around to it, only barely nicely donks it off the post. And that's 4-1 for Lost Souls.
Yeah. Never going to be comfortable sprinting after this to try and make the angle. Always thought that you might be missing it, but Hazo does a fantastic job squeezing that one in off the inside of the post, and Ascence have a mountain to climb in the final minute here.
I feel like they just want to go for the next mountain, which perhaps might just be
a hill. Mountain? How about flat plains? If they have a mountain in Game 4, then I think they've got a problem.
I mean, a mental mountain is what they've got up against Lost Souls, and in general, if Ascence can't really iron it out themselves, okay. This is a little bit of a grievance back. It's 2 goals still.
Instead of choosing the mountain to climb, Meaty choosing violence, successfully gets out the way of Led, who can just walk that ball straight down the red carpet and into the back of the Lost Souls net. But Lost Souls still with 4 on the board. Can the Swedes really continue the comeback?
Meaty punts it forward. Simoon was either going for the bump or the shot. One might never find out. Simoon now on the struggle back as he cuts straight across in the ball chase, and that's tough for Ascence because then now the 3rd man rotation is messed up a little bit. Led wanted that demo, but Squixel knew he was the last man and needed to evade that at all costs. And this is looking brilliant for Lost Souls. They can't really lose the match anymore, as they will go on to match point.
Seems to be regulation all run out for Ascence, who once again find themselves down by 1, but it's a crucial one game because it puts Lost Souls on the verge of survival here in the Swiss stage of the Master Cup. They're 2-1 up here in the best of 5.
Ascence, they are starting to struggle more and more. You can see Led, he's still performing, but Meaty and Simoon both struggling pretty far behind, and it has to do with that rotation. They're ball chasing a little bit too much, trying to force the play at hand there, even though if you take a step back and just go simple 3rd man rotations, it will get so much easier for you to realize where your teammates are.
And I'm a little bit conflicted on sort of the offensive approach and strategy from Ascence as well. As you saw on the scoreboard, they put up 6 demolitions that game, and I want to commend it in the fact that it got them the 1 goal they had on the board. And maybe that's not really the area of concern, but clearly, maybe they were overcommitting, going for them demolitions. Things were a little bit too overexposed at the back, and 1 goal was far from enough, at least from the demos, to get them back into that game. It was still a margin. You just can't reliably be winning, conceding 4 in such a short space of time.
Oh yeah, and now it's getting scary for Ascence. They've got to iron themselves out and also climb Lost Souls in order to achieve a victory. Climb over the top of them. It's your last chance to try and do so, otherwise you're knocked out entirely. Things aren't looking good for them, and now is the time to have a little breather, walk about the room, and forget about the previous games and take this one by one.
They better stop walking about the room because kickoff has immediately occurred. Thankfully, no Ronakis in this particular kickoff. That's nice to see. Squixel will not find the double, but like we say, it is elimination point for the all-Swedish roster. Early shots registered, but Lost Souls still in the driver's seat.
They're starting to realize those demos as well on the side of Lost Souls, evading them and moving their cars around it rather easily. Even on the challenges, they were taken off early in order to avoid those at all costs. Led, he's got a touch, but he won't be able to do much more as Hazo puts it forward. This is a great opportunity for Arrow, but struggles in position, and Squixel, he smells blood in the water.
He certainly does. Credit to Squixel. I don't really want to talk about too much else. Aero, I mean, to be fair to the Ascence defense, it looked for all the while that he was going to make contact with that and it would be a redirect straight onto net, and then panic ensued, I think, is an understatement.
Yeah, just a tiny understatement. It's been a reoccurring theme though on the side of Ascence, and that's the problem with it's just the one goal. It shouldn't be a problem, but it was chaotic through and through. They are also double committing now. They'll get the pass across, but that means there won't be anybody for the center ball or for the chase up here. And Led also going aggressive for the boost. That's putting him out of position. Meanwhile, Arrow on the opposite end. Great block, but Squixel's there to get the second punch.
Fantastic save. So deflating when it ends up not mattering though. Aero here be frustrated. He was denied by Meaty, who angled his car as best as he could to parry that one away, but the bounce was cruel and Squixel was in position.
This is looking good for Lost Souls. First minute, you have your match point. And Regularity actually beaten Heat. You talk about the tournament favorite, but perhaps Lost Souls can be the tournament favorite here as well, as they're marking a dominant 3-0.
Huge result as well. Lost Souls trying to eliminate Ascence in this very game, but the French combo, of course, of Kerrigan and iRiser alongside Mads on Regularity, putting Heat on elimination point going into next round. A 3-2 scoreline, crucial as the Swiss stage develops here.
That's ridiculous, and I can't wait to see the rest of the results as well. Simon push through as Ascence. They're going so aggressive into the opposite corner. I just saw that. I'm not too sure who it was, but I've just seen somebody go away from the play in order to get a demo or get the boost. When in the end it's not going to work out because you don't even have possession. Okay, you've got a boost still, but if they clear it away, you can't utilize that boost advantage that you gathered, and they'll just be able to find some on their own.
Halada also winning in Game 5. Halada back in the positive, of course. The roster of Torres, Killero, and Leoro winning in 5 over Zoom Zoom, Casa, Justice, and I'm blanking. Gekkenman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gek. How could you forget about it?
Sorry, so my deepest apologies right now, but right now I'm feeling more sorry for Ascence, who still need to score 3 in just under 3 minutes. We saw them attempt late comebacks already this series, and while they got their foot in the door, they never managed to push it all the way open. Meaty, again from close distance, trying to wrestle the ball in, but it is just not working out for them.
Just tiny disconnections on their plays. Either they miss the ball barely, or they missed their teammate barely. Missing the challenge by a pretty long shot. Where was Simon going, mate?
Not really sure. Maybe booked himself a holiday. I'm not sure. Maybe he was just desperate to get himself some Cooler Master merch and he went straight off to the store. Didn't quite find the read on the pass, attempting the aggressive free jump, which when 3-0 down, you may have to attempt plays like this. There's still half the game to be played, but Lost Souls, they've began collecting open net runaways again, and things have always looked comfortable for them when that's the case.
You just need to control those kickoffs, not do anything too crazy unless you want to score more. That's always a possibility for Lost Souls, it seems like. But Arrow, he's caught in defense now, and he's got Led as his challenger, but only 12 boosts in the tank of Led. Can't really do too much. This is still an opportunity for Ascence, and I feel like they need to score in this attack or the following. Led tries to do exactly that, but Lost Souls, even though they're double committed, they still manage to get it out rather handedly.
Yeah, the defense from Lost Souls, ironically, very much they know where they are and where they need to be. Some fantastic shutting down of the plays. The boys in pink of Ascence They're trying to find something, but again, the pass is a little under hit. So difficult when the car's so static. Hazo's up. Surely he doesn't find the angle. Aero might. That one nearly turned in at the near post by a defender led. Happy to see that one across the goal mouth, but still, time is just bleeding off the clock at this point, Hyperia.
This is turning into a battering. I mean, it's still 4-0 for Lost Souls, who played an incredibly controlled game from the latter part. As soon as they were able up by a strong margin, they didn't really care about scoring that much more. They've not forced the issue here. Simon, he wants to force the issue, and they're going to have to. The Lost Souls, they're reading that correctly, and thus also clearing it out quickly. Landing to the center of Squixel as he extends.
In Burnabout, another game 5 up at the top of the 2-0 teams. Things are so close up there. Happy to see, of course, that stake. Luis P and Acro winning 3-2 over Casio, Raziz and Rizex. A crucial series win for the Spaniards for the most part. A series that I'm sure two teams will be playing each other very much over the coming months. And who knows, if we're lucky, we might even get a rematch tomorrow or the day after. What we won't have a rematch of, unfortunately, is Lost Souls against Ascence, because as it stands, Hyperia, Ascence will unfortunately be one of, if not the first team leaving us here in the Master Cup. They have got themselves back in with it. I was going to say I've seen more bizarre comebacks, but this would definitely be up there.
I don't want to be pessimistic, Peter, here, but...
Peter?
I still...
Don't be pessimistic.
I still don't think it's
okay, never mind, Peter. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you, to be honest. Lost Souls have really just shown us why they qualified into this main event. Let's not forget, of course, this is their first win on the board in the Swiss, but they qualified to this event, beating Zoom Zoom in a game 5, who of course then had to qualify through our 4th qualifier. And Lost Souls also getting a crucial win on the board here. Who knows? Maybe they can reverse sweep the Swiss.
And that was Zoom Zoom's RLCS roster. That's a roster that they feel confident in, that's going to compete with the very best of the best. And Lost Souls were able to beat them and also stamp their win over Ascence 3-1 rather comfortably as Ascence. And apart from that first game, the Chaos just reigned supreme.